Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Monday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we all know that the Los Angeles Lakers were in action again on yesterday, taking on none other than the Houston Rockets, who we know they lost to previously already in this young season when they were down in Houston, I believe, on that 5-game road trip. And in that particular game, they were without the services of Anthony Davis. But for this particular matchup, the Lakers were almost completely healthy. We know that Vanderbilt is still out, but he has started to get back into practice activities and just ramping up to get ready. So we would expect to see a sighting of Vanderbilt on the court, I would hope to say, probably within a week or so, maybe after Thanksgiving, as he starts to get back in action on the court. And of course, we know that the Lakers are still without backup point guard Gabe Vincent, who I think could maybe easily win out the spot against D'Angelo Russell, because at least he does play some sort of perimeter defense and, try to get up into a player. But that's a story for a whole nother day. We're not going to talk too much about D'Lo, even though quickly while I'm on him, I will say he only had 4 points on yesterday, 4 points, 5 rebounds, only 2 assists, 1 out of 8 from the field at a mere 12%, which was a contrast from what he did the other day, which he did have a great game. And as soon as I started saying, well, maybe D'Lo will play well, maybe he will be better, because I've been giving him hell, not only just this season, but even going into the playoffs. Last year, we saw that there were games and series which he was unplayable because of his lack of defensive effort and defensive capability. But not only that, just not being athletic enough to get downhill and to be able to create for others. But he has been actually playing, I would say, a tad bit better than Austin Reeves, I would say, so far as a whole on the season, because Austin Reeves has been down. But we saw on yesterday who hit the big three at the end was none other than Austin Reeves. And who did Darvin Ham elect to go with in crunch time? You did not see D'Lo on the floor, nor you shouldn't, especially the way that he had been playing that game. He needs to find some consistency. Now, before we talk about the great game that LeBron James had, first off, I want to say, y'all all know, especially those of you who subscribe already know, I was out of town. I went to Miami for a few days just to kind of kick back, relax, and get away from it all. And I missed the Portland game, so I didn't even actually get a chance to watch it. So I didn't have a reaction to the Portland game, but let me know in the comments if you want me to. I know it's old news now, so, I just hadn't had a chance. I have it recorded. I just haven't had a chance to take a look at it yet. But we saw LeBron James had a great game that game as well. And I know, it was a great bounce back for the Lakers to pass 2 games after that horrible performance against the Sacramento Kings the last time we had a discussion. And I'm telling you what, the Lakers have been up and down. I think they're starting to show consistency. But yet again, we saw on yesterday the same problem that they had against Sacramento and other teams. See, Houston isn't as good as Sacramento is, especially the way De'Aaron Fox is playing. Because you cannot get in a hole in the first quarter. And that is what the Lakers have continued to do, dig themselves a hole. And they started to do that on yesterday. I think they were down by 8 or 9 points early on in the first quarter. Of course, LeBron James came back into the game to put them back in the game, I think, to only be down by 4 or 6. So they kept it within striking distance. And then it was kind of a back and forth battle until then. Got to give shouts out to Dillon Brooks, man. Dillon Brooks had 24 points on yesterday. He was playing great. He was actually probably the best player on the floor for the Rockets on yesterday. Sengun arguably could have been as well. 23 points and 10 rebounds, 5 assists for Sengun. And he was hitting the floater. He was hitting, shots from the elbow. He was giving Anthony Davis all he could handle. And ultimately, as we all know, Anthony Davis fouled out of the game. And it was late in that game where I think Sengun and both AD were playing with 5 fouls. And, Anthony Davis was sagging off of him, afraid to pick up his 6th foul. And let Sengun get to the basket pretty easily, I think, to take a 1-point lead in the latter stages of that game. And I really wish AD would have challenged him more and got physical, even with the foul, because I believe on the very next play, AD was called for an offensive foul. And that leads me just to talk a little bit briefly about Darvin Ham's decision earlier in the game, and clearly was an offensive foul on Anthony Davis when he lowered his shoulder into Sengun and caused the contact, knocking him to the floor. But yet they decided to challenge that, which I didn't understand. I know you're trying to keep him from picking up an extra foul, I think, which would have been his third foul, and that was in the second quarter. But if you see it's clearly a foul and it's not going to get overturned, then why do that? So not only do you waste a timeout, but now more importantly, you lose the challenge, because if you challenge and you are right, then you get to have another challenge. And later on, that was a bad call, I think, on AD when they called a charge on him on the play in the game that ultimately got him disqualified from the matchup because of the foul, because he really, I think Sengun was still moving his feet. He didn't establish clear position, and most importantly, he didn't take it right here in the chest. To get that offensive foul, man, you got to take it right here dead on, and he didn't. He was moving laterally, but Darvin Ham did not have a challenge, and ultimately, we saw what happened. Anthony Davis fouled out on that possession, and then it was up to that of LeBron James and Anthony Davis to bring it on home. I will say this about that Portland game, man. If you check this out on the Portland game, you will see that LeBron James, man, has been lighting it up. And LeBron James in the Portland game was 13 out of 22, 55%, 5 out of 9 from 3. Really lit it up from 3. I missed that game. I still might have to go back and watch it. And I see he assisted on all the plays leading down the stretch of the fourth quarter, man. And if you look at this graphic right here, just the last two games from LeBron James, is he trying to put himself into MVP conversation, dare I say, in year 21? I mean, you talking about, look at the comparison. LeBron, 14 out of 19, 2 out of 5 from 3, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. The game before that, there at Portland, 13 out of 22, 55%, 5 out of 9 from 3, 9 assists. If he continues to put up these numbers, he will be in that MVP conversation. But if you look at Jokic, and Jokic is undoubtedly doing the same thing, constantly putting up those numbers. But as you can see, without Jamal Murray, the Denver Nuggets seem like they have been struggling a bit as of late. So we know that Jamal Murray is very important to the success of the Denver Nuggets. But back to what I was saying about LeBron James, man. That game was phenomenal on yesterday. 37 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, 14 out of 19 counted up. That's 74%. 74% from the field, which is amazing. And a lot of these shots were jump shots. They was fadeaways. They weren't just right at the rim. They weren't all difficult shots. But LeBron James had a pep in his step last night. So Bronny was out there, so he wanted to show off for Bronny. He said that gave him extra motivation. And then the play when he said Dillon Brooks was too little, the people at the end of the game who were interviewing said they never saw LeBron James do the too little celebration before. But I'm telling you what, you can go check out the footage. He's done that too little celebration on Dillon Brooks before in the past. And I think it was during the bubble. And Dillon Brooks had an earful for LeBron and kept saying stuff. So LeBron James kept hitting him with the fadeaway, aka, and was telling him, you're too small. And actually, I could be wrong, but on yesterday, I'm not even sure if LeBron James meant to do the too little celebration. I think he damn near tripped and fell after hitting that fadeaway and was catching his balance. And since he had to catch himself on the floor and not fall down, he said, you know what? I'll just say he too little to make it look good. You understand what I'm saying? But LeBron James, man, was in the bag on yesterday. It was hilarious when he missed that shot with his left hand, and then he did a little pizzle, pazzle, you understand me, to Christian Wood. And, but it is what it is, man. Everybody got something to say about LeBron, as always. But, man, Anthony Davis had a good performance on yesterday. I won't say a monstrous performance, but a damn good performance. And if he can play consistently like this and be the AD that we need like this, then I'm telling you, the Lakers are going to strike fear in a lot of teams. And if you look at Anthony Davis' numbers on yesterday, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, a block, 11 out of 15, 73% from the field. Right behind LeBron, who shot 74%, and it still took the Lakers down to the wire. And that's because Darvin Ham kept playing D-Lo in the fourth quarter until he realized, let me try a better lineup. And, man, Cam Reddish, shout out to Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish, man, 39 minutes, only had 7 points, 3 rebounds, was only 1 out of 5 from 3. The only three he hit was the one that LeBron passed it to him. So don't shoot it, Cam, unless LeBron passing it to you, because it's something maybe he put some magic on it when he pass it to you that you make it then, but you was pretty much missed the rest of them. But the most important thing that stuck out to me for Cam Reddish was the plus 13, man. He was on it with the steals, getting in passing lanes, pressuring the other players. And I mean, for a lot of time, he was on Jalen Green, man. He was on Jalen Green. Shout outs to Prince, who, spent some time on Green yesterday, because in the first matchup, Green was killing it. Only shot 30% yesterday to Jalen Green, 3 out of 10. So let's take you down to the end of the game really quickly. Just on my breakdown of it was Anthony Davis fouled out. The Houston Rockets were determined to let Sengun take advantage of his mismatch. And on the first possession, I think he was going up against Hachimura, who did a pretty good job and make him miss a couple times. But then, they got caught in the switch. And I want to say when Austin Reeves hit the big three, which just in case y'all didn't notice, not Jalen Green, but I forgot who got caught on the switch on LeBron, but Dillon Brooks was on LeBron, but he got switched over into Austin Reeves, and I think it was Green maybe who got switched on to LeBron, but they came to double LeBron, and as soon as they took 2 steps toward LeBron, Dillon Brooks, he shot it over to Austin Reeves because he knew he was open. He made the right basketball play, and lo and behold, Austin Reeves hits the big three at the top of the key, giving them a 3-point lead. And shouts out to the Houston Rockets coaching staff for able to, and shouts out to M.A. Udoka, who, and his coaching staff, who elected to actually go for 2 on a couple occasions instead of trying to get the quick 3. Instead, he decided to go for 2. And actually, Sengun actually got pretty good separation from LeBron on that particular play and was able to make the shot over him. And it barely went in, but that initial separation that he got with the physicality, I think maybe caught LeBron James off guard because LeBron James does have a good center of gravity and is good as far as defending somebody in the paint. I've even seen defend people as big as strong as Jokic at times. It's something that LeBron doesn't necessarily want to do or has the fortitude to do at this age in year 21 to guard a center all game, but put in that particular situation, I think he was more than capable of doing so. But shouts out to Sengun. He got the separation. He was able to get the shot up and made a great shot, cutting it to 1. And then, of course, Austin Reeves went to the free throw line. They were able to foul. LeBron James got it to Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves split the free throw as well. And if he would have made his, then maybe they wouldn't have been in that situation. But that's what the Houston coaching staff wanted him to do. He only made 1 of the free throws, which made it a 2-point game. And, of course, we know Sengun, maybe that was the next play. I'm sorry. So Sengun, I think, scored over Hachimura the first time and then LeBron the second time. So they went right back to it. He was able to score, and that's what ultimately tied the game. But they left too much time on the clock. LeBron James had Dillon Brooks on a mismatch on the post. By the time they came for help, it was too late. Younger LeBron James would have 2-hand dunked that thing or reverse dunked that thing, but he went to the air, and it's a shot he usually makes. He probably could have got the and 1, but he was fouled, and just like Austin Reeves, he split the free throw. But for those of you saying he's not clutch, maybe he didn't make both of them, but guess what? He knew he didn't need to, and I hate to say it, but that plays a factor into it. LeBron James, I don't know, it's just something about his free throw shooting. He makes them when it counts, and that counted, and he made that second one to seal the game. He knew they didn't have any timeouts and that they would have to hurl a 3 regardless, so a 3 is going to beat you whether he made both of them or not. So he really focused on the second one and made sure he got that one down and ultimately won the game for the Lakers. So we know he's been the most clutch in the NBA so far this season for all the naysayers who says that he isn't. But at the end of the day, the Lakers did what they had to do to go ahead and win that game. And up next for the Lakers for the play-in tournament is that of the Utah Jazz. Man, I'm telling y'all what, this play-in tournament is going to be great, and I see the Lakers advancing all the way to Vegas. So it's going to be very interesting to talk about as we progress through the season. But I really have a lot that I need to get to, man. I'm having a little bit of some technical difficulties, so I'm going to have to spice this up. But you guys, man, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. For you haven't already, hit that like, hit that bell, hit that subscribe. And as always, man, this is your boy B New. I'm saying right on to the real, and much love to these haters. I'm out.